DJ Dewey Rock on the track.
Welcome to Immerse Podcast 360. I'm your host, Maserati. We want to thank you for tuning in. No matter where you're in this metaverse world, we're going to continue to bring you the best quality content and formula that we know how. We want to thank you for joining us on this lovely Sunday night for this special episode of Beyond the Game, where we are going over into our neighboring parish over in Dale High and visit with one of our own. He was born right here in Strop City, Louisiana, where he's a graduate of Bastrop High School in 1996. He went on to Southern University of Baton Rouge, where he graduated in 2001 with his BA in agriculture. He went on to the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, where he received his master's degree in 2008. He worked for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Vancouver, Washington for 4 years before becoming a junior high coach at the Chattanooga Middle School in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I give you none other than proud member who holds many hats at Dale High Charter, proud member of Omega Psi Phi, the son of former longtime educator here in Morehouse Parish. Y'all give it up for our brother, Mr. Chadwick Clark. How you doing, Chad?
I'm good, man. How you?
How you doing today, brother? We just so honored to have you on the show, and we want the people to get to know Coach Clark. You became a native of Dale High, and a lot of this generation don't know the way and the pavement that you've paved for them in athletics over there with the charter school in Dale High. Kind of share with us how you've been doing, Coach Clark.
Man, I've been doing real good, man. You know, I've been at Dale High Charter this is my 15th year. I've been here since 2008. Moved to town right after I finished my master's. Started out coaching varsity boys basketball, and then I started coaching junior high football. And since then I done coached golf. I'm actually coaching softball this year just because, we didn't have anybody else to really step in and take that load on. So, I'm over here in Dale High, man, at the Dale High Charter School. I bleed blue and orange now, man. I love it here.
Well, most definitely. You've been planted your seed there, but share with the people that may not know Coach Clark, like you say, been gone for quite a while. Kind of share with the people, bring back their memories, how it was for you growing up over here in Old Strop City.
Oh, man, it was great, Strop in the early 80s was awesome for me. I grew up over there on the west side on Robert Street between Van Avenue and Welch Park, man, raised by my mom and my godmother and my Aunt Caroline. Teachers worked for crumbs back then, man, but shoot, we made it. I can remember back when, we only had like them 3 channels, 8 and 10 and 14. But we didn't miss no meals. You know what I mean? And my Aunt Caroline lived right there by Welch Park. That's where I fell in love with basketball at. I was able to, just go over there and play ball every day. Had some of the best times of my life right there in Welch Park, Dawson Park, East Madison. Went to St. John Missionary Baptist Church there in Bastrop. Made a lot of lifelong friends there. Hung out over there in Sugar Hill a lot with at the Burnett House and the Locke House and the Andrews House. Played a lot of ball over there in that neighborhood, hanging out with my friends, and got a chance to see some things that I wanted for myself, when I grew up. So, and I love the Strop, and I love growing up. Like I said, we didn't have it all, but we had enough. You know what I mean?
Most definitely. And that's what we kind of trying to share and bring back and have people to remember the culture and the richness that we have here in the Strop City. But, coming up, Coach Clark, who were some of your inspirations? As people look on your Facebook page, they don't know nothing about Bob Curlin, Biddy basketball, but kind of share with them about that. And also, who was your inspiration coming up?
Oh man, I'm glad you said Bob Curlin. That is interesting because I actually just started a youth basketball league over here in Delhi, similar to what Coach Curlin did for us when we were little. Man, Coach Curlin had us up there playing ball on Saturday mornings and had his high school team refereeing, and I'm doing something similar to that here. My most influential person for me, family-wise, of course, is my mama, man. When we played in that little league up there with Coach Curlin, she was our coach, and growing up without a dad, my mom stepped in and she did everything that moms do and that dads do. You know what I mean? She did everything from keeping me fed and clothed, making me read, teaching me how to ride a bike. She was out in the yard throwing the ball with me. Now, she was also smart enough to know that she needed to have me around some men, you know what I mean? So I could see what that was like. So, some other influences that I had, scout leaders, people like Cliff Anderson, Gus Washington, Prince Whitmore, some of my friends' dads, like Mr. Howard Locke, Coach Jesse Burnett, rest in peace. All the deacons at St. John, like Sherman Burrell, Mr. Smith, Mr. E, your dad, Joe Odom was my first T-ball coach, Jim Earl Johnson, Barry Johnson, of course, Bob Curlin, Alan Murray, Sam Jones, Theodis Johnson. I shouldn't have got the name of people because I'm gonna mess around and forget somebody. But right. That was the strap back then, though, man. It was we had that village. It was even the ladies like Miss Zaretta Nimmer, Dorothy Bradshaw, Miss Tappan, who you had on your show recently, Cheryl Jackson, Miss Ruby Hamilton, all them old ladies that lived on my Caroline Street. It ain't nothing like the game you get from some ladies, man. So I got all types of people that I need to give flowers to for, shaping, who I am or whatever. Nobody more than my mom, though. My mom is, I was able to see how she influenced people, how she influenced kids, and how much she helped people. Like I said, we didn't have everything. We struggled sometimes, but she still made sure that every kid had a ride to practice. When we was practicing, she made sure that they ate. If they hadn't, we might not have had 2 nickels to rub together ourselves, man. We putting gas in the car with change, but she still, making sure everybody else had what they needed too. And, that's the cloth that I was cut from. So I try to do, as much for her to get the credit as possible.
Right. And it's a great thing when you can sit there and honor your mom for taking on a role as a father should, and she didn't miss a beat. And that's why I wanted to share about the Bob Curlin Biddy basketball, because I remember coming to watch you guys play, to Lance, my little brother, Arthur Bradshaw, Jermaine Montgomery, Eddie Montgomery, Claytis Third Kill, Sam, Jerome Robinson,
right.
Joe Bradshaw. You guys were given skills and social skills, and you learn the game from a fundamental standpoint at that age. That's kind of jump into, before we take an intermission, how do you feel about the fundamentals of the game since you've been coaching for 15 years now?
Well, it's a little bit harder to get kids interested in the fundamentals of the game, because you really have to, especially at the high school level, those are the types of things that you have to do in the off season. That's summertime stuff. And, back then we just didn't have as much other things to do. We didn't have as many distractions. We didn't have the phones and the games and the different things like that. We were outside anyway. We was hooping anyway. It's just not nearly as many pickup games going on now as there were in the 80s and the 90s, and that's where you got a lot of that basic skill from. Now you have to really, really work hard with kids, teaching them the basic things that it seems like a lot of us came in the door with just because we just played so much more.
And that's most definitely a great part of it, the interaction the kids don't participate in now. And having those programs also, Coach, like you said, you started a program kind of similar that we had here with at basketball with Coach Curley, but it's kind of almost it's on the kids of them wanting to take some initiative, and do they really desire to play sports or be competitive as we were when we were kids, Coach?
Yeah, it's a little bit different. Like I said, I started this youth basketball league here, and I look at them and I think about where we were as fourth and fifth graders, as far as just the knowledge of the game and the competitiveness and the skill level. It's a little different, and like I said, they have a lot more things to control their interests than we did, and now we have to compete, as a just basketball coach. For example, you have to compete with the TikToks and the Snapchats and the other things that, and just the regular old video game like that, e-gaming and stuff like that. If you could sit on the couch and be an all-star, then why you got to go somewhere and sweat? So you gotta compete with that too.
Right, and I think that's the biggest mindset technology has taken away from not only the youth but adults too. It has taken away from our social skills and our interaction, and that takes away from us participating, even the kids and us as adults participating in activities with our kids and supporting them. But Coach, we're going to take an intermission, and we come back. We're going to jump into your career at Dale High Charter and the many hats that you carry and you still carry, and you kept keep that small program afloat and in contention since you've been there. And we're going to talk about that when we come back out this intermission.
Cool.
We'll be right back with our own Scrap City standout, making it happen over there in Dale High for Dale High Charter Gators. None other. We got our own Coach Chadwick Clark when we return after this intermission.
Immerse 360 Podcast focuses on uplifting rural and urban areas and dire conditions with no solutions by shedding light on pioneers, athletes, and political figures who have made an impression on Northeast Louisiana and surrounding areas. Immerse understands the social and civic needs to love, learn, live, and laugh. So, tap in every Sunday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. on all social networks and platforms. Always remember, Immerse 360.
Welcome back. This portion of the show is being brought to you by Morehouse Community Development, Bro Inc. Photography, and Stepping Stones LLC of Jonesboro, Louisiana. And shout out to Kick Thrones in Scrap City. We're still here with our own standout, making it happen, the athletic director of none other than the Dale High Charter School Gators. We're still here with our own Coach Chad Clark. Coach, before we left to go to intermission, we're speaking about the programs and how we grew up here in Scrap City and the various things that we had to do to keep us motivated and intertwined with participating in various programs. But, Coach, how has it been for you? People think because of a better school system or a better environment that it's not a challenge and it's easy. when you have everything there. Coach, tell them how challenging it has been for you over there with Dale High Charter.
It's definitely not easy. So my position here at DCS is, of course, athletic director, and then I'm also an administrator for discipline and attendance. And, we have discipline issues just like everybody else. Now, being that we're a charter school, we have some things that we do a little bit differently. One of the things that we do a little differently here is, we still use the paddle. And that in itself just makes a huge difference in terms of the difference between our school and some of the schools in the area. Think about when we came up versus today. You might get snatched out of class and paddle right there in the hallway, or even in the classroom right there in front of some kids. That type of thing does not happen anymore. And it is kind of one of the issues with with the state of education that we have. And also, one of the things that's difficult as a athletic director at a really small school is that, we want to try to offer the same programs that are offered at a lot of other places, but, we have limited resources as far as, people that'll step in and take over that responsibility. We got some great people here at DCS that do a lot of things. But then sometimes you just find yourself shorthanded and you have to step in. I never played football growing up, but I done coached football a lot, since I've been here, just because there was a need for it. Found myself coaching golf, softball. It just is what it is. We just have to be willing to fill the void sometimes.
And that's something, Coach, I was going to get into. I kind of look at your resume. You pretty much held every title sports program that you have at Dale High Charter. You done coached, assistant coach, and now being AD, you know the whole game plan. But what has been your most challenging part of your career as being an AD at such a small program?
I have to be honest. I feel like probably my biggest challenge, the thing that I have to work to improve on the most, is just being able to ask for help and delegate responsibility and let other people step in and help when they offer. It's not really that I don't trust people to help me. I do. It's just that, I prefer to do things myself. I kind of feel like I'm a superhero. You know what I'm saying? And it could be a gift and a curse sometimes because, I tend to overload myself at times. And, I have to do better at, allowing people to assist and, be a part of the, accomplishing certain things that we're trying to do around here.
And and I was talking earlier before the show, and you carry so many hats and you do so many things for Dale High Charter. Your son was a great standout athlete. Your daughters are doing various things, cheerleading and doing things. How do you and your wife, Valerie, how do you guys balance all of that?
It is it's time consuming. You just have to be willing to, just commit to them. Like you said, I got 4 kids. My son is a senior, and currently we just finished basketball season where, I was a head coach and we lost in the second round of the playoffs, and he stepped right on to the baseball field as soon as that was over. And so, now he's playing baseball. I got a daughter that's a freshman that's playing softball. I'm coaching the softball team. So, most of the time I'm with my daughter and my wife goes to watch my son. And then we got twin girls that just turned 13 and they're running track. And, somebody's got to go to the track meet and watch them. And, I have to get mama to step in and go watch somebody while I'm coaching softball and my wife is watching baseball. Or, we just kind of, just kind of make it happen, man. It makes the days go by fast. I tell you that.
Right. And people don't understand, that's commitment on both of you guys' part and the kids, because, they're sharing you guys. Like you told me, sometimes y'all have to split up. The daughters may want to come watch you cheer, but you got to go with Junior and vice versa. And I just want to commend the Clark family on sharing each other. And Coach, kind of share with us, how is it dealing with those different personalities, but yet you find that happy medium, you and your wife?
Well, those the personalities in our house. We pretty much created those personalities because we've been there since day one, and they all understand that we all have to go in different directions sometimes, and we all support each other. If me and my son is at a basketball game, then somebody's gonna be there watching. If it's a football game and my daughter's cheering, we all going. Even next year when my son's not playing anymore, we still gonna be there. If the twins got something going on, then we gonna be there with them, and everybody's understands that they have to kind of be selfless at times in our house if you're gonna survive. So it just kind of is what it is. Everybody's used to it now. It's fairly normal.
Right. And it's challenging being a parent, period. But being a coach and being a coach's wife and being a coach's child can be very challenging, like you say, with sharing the time and finding a way to balance all of that. But, Coach, let's just share with the people right now, how do you feel about the state of education?
I feel like there's several issues with our current system. One of them I kind of just spoke on is, that discipline aspect of it. And that's what I deal with every day. We don't have that village now like we used to have. That's one of the legs that discipline used to stand on. Kids were taught to respect all adults by all adults. Your mama's friends and people in the neighborhood, everybody had permission to get on your tail when you was out of line. And now we kind of in this generation of don't talk to my kid like that, or something like that. It's crazy, and we, I don't know, I hate to sound harsh or whatever, but with paddling being gone, you take away the ability to snatch a kid up and give him that immediate discipline sometime that's needed. And I like I said, we have that here at Delhi Charter School, and it makes a really, really big difference. But most places, they struggle with that ability to grab a kid and put something on them right quick and send them on back to class. And, you got young and immature parents that's, not only are they against their child being paddled, they don't even want you to talk to their kids in a certain way. But I'll take it a step further than that. In our current education system, I feel like, this is just my personal opinion, I feel like as a country, like we should go to a year-round schedule versus having 2-3 months off in the summertime. Part of the issue is that kids go from May to August without picking up a book or doing any type of exercising with their minds. And they come back in August after being out since May, and it's like you got to start all over with them because they hadn't done anything over that 2-month period. And I feel like with a year-round school schedule, you still have a summer break. It might be a little bit shorter. You have breaks throughout the course of the year, but there's never just a big lapse of time where kids don't learn anything. And as parents, we are supposed to make sure that that big amount of time doesn't happen, but you know, a lot don't do that. A lot of them feel like they on break too during the summer, and you know, they don't make their kids pick up a book or read or watch anything educational even, and that's a big issue also. You know, another thing that I can think of off the top of my head is that now, you know, there's so many different ways to teach different things, and you know, now they got all this new math and do it this way and do it that way, and kids, you know, people our age learned it a different way or a more simple ways, and now they're at home struggling to even help their kids. You know, and I feel like that kind of stuff is kind of political. I don't want to go too far into that, but things like that are, you know, that's what's got us, you know, as far back as we are as far as the United States and ranking educationally. We rank way down in terms of like comparing ourselves to other countries, and it could be a whole lot better if we just kind of put our heads together, put the kids first and not money. But that's just me. I'm gonna get off my soapbox.
No doubt, Coach. I love getting it from like I say, a qualitative perspective. Someone that's in the belly of the beast, and you actually know what's going on, because the people who make the rules, we know they sit not only outside the belly of the beast, but they're not even in the water.
Yeah, and they don't even care. They don't care what's going on in there, man. They down there in Baton Rouge or every other state, you know, they at these state capitals and they buying these programs from these people and getting kickbacks and pushing all this mess. And it'll be different in 2 years, and ain't nobody hurting but the kids.
Right. You know, and with that being said, Coach, you know, kind of share with us, you know, what advice would you give someone starting out on your journey that maybe want to be an administrator, a head coach, or just a regular everyday teacher? What would you give this generation, still being relatively young and in connection? What would you tell them right now that want to go into this field?
Yeah. I'll take it from, you know, if I was talking to a young me, you know, if I could go back and tell myself some things, I would tell myself as a 25-year-old or however old, I would say, you know, be humble, of course, but be confident. You know, don't be scared to ask questions and learn from people that's been doing it for a while. Learn from the experiences of others. Definitely don't burn bridges, you know. And it's very important to be organized, try to plan things out. You know, I get up every day and I make a little checklist of what I want to get accomplished that day. You know, make kids feel good about themselves, because a lot of them don't get that at home, but never waver in holding them accountable for, you know, for the things that they do. You know, you can be kind and they can look at you as a father figure or a big brother or whatever, but they know that they're not going to be able to, you know, break the rules and get away with it. You know, hold kids accountable for their actions, show up early, stay late, and I guess probably the most important thing, maybe I should have started out with, just balance. You got to find that balance between, you know, that personal time and that professional time, because, you know, this profession right here, it'll take all your time if you let it, you know, but you have to be able to, you know, not let it take you away from the important things, you know, your mental health and your family life, if you have one.
Right, most definitely, Coach. And we're going to take another intermission, and you ended with talking about the mental aspect of it. When we come back, we want to share how you're dealing with the loss of your dear friend, Big Rob Andrews, that not only has shaken Scrap City, but the Grambling State University world and Texas, where he had planted his seed. When we come back, I want you to share with the people about the guy Robert Andrews, since you were so close with him, and kind of share with the people about another legacy that we lost here in Scrap City.
Already.
We'll be right back with our own Coach Chadwick Clark, athletic director and the man of many hats at Dale High Charter, the old Gators, when we return after this intermission.
You already know. Celebrity, bitch, you ain't a hustler, you will never be. Supermodel with me, got more curve than the letter B. Capital, no Nelly, put a bottom like a apple, okay. Trapper hoe, I attract more hoes than the capper hoe. Shooters on my bill, don't get caught up in my raps, so no. Flipper bullets, hit you like a fucking linebacker, okay. Knock your fucking helmet off for playing with my folks. It's more dollars over here, and up there, I am show. Chasing G5, I just wanna fly as I smoke. On a ride, I am hot air balloon, why go broke? I go get it. The hottest in my city, who fucking with me? Nobody. Young Louisiana did it. I NBA ball with something that will take your face off.
Welcome back to this portion of Beyond the Game, where we want to thank you for all your likes, shares, and subscriptions on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and TikTok thus far. And we want to give some special thanks to Brass Section, Stardom Networks, Psycho Astronauts, Line Eye, Club Planet, Funksville, and Real Talk with Miss Nisi, with our Facebook supporters. We're still here with our own standout, doing it big over there in Dale High Charter, Coach Chadwick Clark. Coach Clark, before we left for intermission, we were speaking about our dear friend Rob. Kind of share with the people and let the people in the surrounding areas know what type of guy old Big Rob Andrews was.
Man, Robert Orlando Andrews was just an incredible human being, man. You know, I met Rob. Rob was probably one of my first friends because, you know, like I said, I went to St. John, and that's where I met Rob. You know, I was actually born in Tallulah, and I moved over here to Bastrop, and, you know, right before I started pre-K. And I met Rob at St. John. I bet me and Rob been friends for 41, 42 years, maybe somewhere around in there. And I turn 45 next week. So, you know, that kind of tells you how long, you know, me and Rob and AB and Marquise and Al, Elton Fielder, you know, cats like that, we all came up over there at St. John Missionary Baptist Church. Rob was just a real kind-hearted dude, man. His whole life, you know, he ended up being an educator, just like his mom. He loved God. He loved his wife. He loved his family and his friends. So, you know, it's tough when you lose a friend like that. It's really, really difficult to deal with. But, you know, in our immediate friend group, Rob was kind of like the soul of the group. You know, Rob was the always the sensible one. You know, when we did our little trips and stuff like that, Rob was the one that kept everybody in line. And you know, it's like I said, it's tough, man. But knowing that he's in a better place with no more pain makes it that much more bearable. You know what I mean? So it's kind of up to us to keep his name alive. So, you know, like I said, me and the guys, we're going to do our best to do that. You know, we've been throwing around some ideas like starting up a scholarship fund in his name, you know, maybe a golf tournament, you know, something like that. Rob was really into golf, you know, got me into it. And, you know, that's what we did a lot when we had free time. We played golf, played basketball, talked a lot about, you know, sports and that sort of thing. So, you know, I think, and Rob was an excellent scholar. He was an honor student at Bastrop High School, class in 1994, honor student at Grambling. So, I mean, I feel like it'll be a great tribute to him. to maybe do a scholarship for a kid that's, graduating from Bastrop High like Rob. Maybe somebody that was in the band like Rob. Rob was the man in that BHS band in the early 90s. Maybe find a kid that's going to Grambling. Rob, he bled that black and gold. So, we're gonna do some things to keep his name alive. So, everybody just stay tuned for that.
And that'll be real big and huge, and it's crazy that you said that, because right now that's who hold the morale of the community, the band. Mr. Gilbert Wilson has done a phenomenal job with spirit groups, and there's nothing else. We're getting the spirit back, and hopefully the morale of the sports programs come back in full fruition as it once was. But Coach, before we let you go, knowing the things you hear about Scrap City, and having love for the Scrap and being from here, knowing how it was coming up here, as you explained earlier, looking through a glass, what are some of the things you like to see happen in Scrap City?
Some things are fairly simple, I believe. I think you got some really good people over there that's trying to do some great things. You got your Diddy Greens and your Coop, Darius Cooper, those guys like that. Boss Jones. There's lots of people over there that's trying to make some things happen, and I feel like we need to get as many parents behind those guys as possible. When we came up, like we was talking about the Bob Curlin's basketball league earlier, or you can even talk about like Dixie baseball, which was huge in the Strop back in, when we came up, man. And all of those things happened because of moms and dads stepping in to lead and to help and to coach in those leagues. All those teams were coached by parents, moms and dads, whether it was the Little League basketball or the Dixie Youth baseball. And that there's no reason why that can't be that way again. And you got like I said, you got Didi, you got people over there that's trying to lead the charge. They just need a few more adults to get behind them. You know what I mean? You can't put everything on the kids. We used to come over there and do a little basketball camp or a little football camp when Lance called. If Lance called and say, "Man, I'm doing this camp," you already know I'm there. I'm on the way. Tell me what time. But it don't have to be people coming in from out of town to do stuff like that all the time. It's people right there that's doing similar things. They just need a few more people to get behind them. I feel like, I see too much negativity when people talk about Bastrop. I think it could be better, but we just got to have a little bit more support from, a few willing moms and dads step in there, take that charge.
Most definitely, Coach. I understand where you're coming from. You feel pretty much the same as the other guests that are here all far. They just hate to see the condition that their beloved Scrap City is in. One last thing before we let you get out of here. Is there anything that's in particular you like to say to anyone about anything here in Old Scrap City about Coach Clark?
No, not necessarily about me. I feel like I done talked about myself enough, but I do. I'm glad you said something about Gilbert. I would like to shout out Gil. That's the homie. Known him for a long time. I'm glad to see him doing the great things that he's doing with the band. That's awesome. And another thing you said earlier that raised my antennas, you said something about kicks thrown. So I wanted to shout out Coop and Rochelle and congratulate her on her back-to-back state titles over there at Northwood Lena. Man, that's who you need to have on this thing next, man. That's a young power couple right there representing the Strap, and they doing some great things. Coop, is flourishing and expanding businesses, serving the community. You got this young lady that's, one of the branches off of the legend Coach Brooks' tree, over there knocking heads off with North Wilhelmina girls basketball. That's outstanding, man. I want to shout out to them for sure.
Right. We already had Cooper on here, and then we definitely want to get his wife on. And it's crazy you said power couple. That's how I advertised them when we had him on the show. And it just shows you how everything we're trying to do here at Emerge 360 is coming to fruition. And we are proud of you, of the accomplishments that you're achieving over there at Delhi Charter. Not only are you holding in the road, Coach, but you keep those guys in contention. And I know it felt good. And I'm going to talk a little noise. I know it felt good for you to spank them old Scrap City Rams this year, didn't it, Coach? Tell the truth.
Yeah, man. I always like to go and have some success against the home team, man. Who wouldn't? You know what I mean?
Alrighty, Coach. We're going to let you get out of here, and we do greatly appreciate you stopping through and sharing the life of old Coach Chadwick Clark.
Oh, man. Thank you for having me, man. This was cool.
Anytime, Coach, and we appreciate you. Hey, I'm your host, Maserati. I want to thank you guys for stopping through for this episode of Beyond the Game. This has been brought to you by Burchell Family Insurance Agency, 44 Million ENT, Stepping Stones, LLC of Jonesboro, Louisiana, and special thanks to Robinson Williams Restoration of Hope Community Activity Center. This has been brought to you by Involved Social and Civic Club, where we understand the social and civic needs of love, learn, live, and laugh. Until next time, y'all stay encouraged, y'all stay involved, and most of all, y'all stay immersed. We out of this thing.
Purpose right. You ain't the hustler, baby. I'm on it. Running me a check, double niggas neck coming through that blue. Shit, I hit them boys, talking them vaginas, ain't gon' do shit. They ask you who I be, tell them people I'm the truth, bitch. Don't tell them people I'm the truth, bitch. I got J's on my feet, I got J's on my street. I get paid, get them whipping that D, take it straight to that street. The money get made, them niggas be hating, them bitches be going crazy. Draco close by, I ain't waiting on God to save me. Christian Luke cost me a couple G's, niggas ain't keeping up with me. I heard they had enough of me, fuck them. Them niggas stuck with me, quote that, post that. I'm the shit, you know that. Picture perfect, go that. Step on that boys like flow man. They was hating, I was squeezing, yelling, now hold that. Yeah, patrol got they people, for sure I know that. But I'm from where them niggas hustle, ain't no love for no rap. We stuffing money in the bag, baby, be about your cash. If you knew my plug, or better yet my folks, you can live your life and never go broke. I'ma cop that work, cook that, make that go. Pile up all them hundreds and do that shit some more. Go broke tryna power, ain't never had shit before. Ain't never had shit before. Go broke tryna power, ain't never